In 2016, the Legend of Zelda series celebrated its 30th anniversary, a major milestone for a beloved Nintendo franchise. The Mario series celebrated its 30th 1 year earlier than that, and only a few months into the year 2020, the Fire Emblem series will clear that same bar. That is an impressive achievement that you might be a little surprised to hear. Yes, the Fire Emblem series is nearly 30 years old, and is definitely a Nintendo RPG staple, with 15 games released throughout the years at my time of writing. Of those 15 releases, 7 games have remained exclusive to the Japanese market, meaning that almost half of the entire series has eluded Western gamers. It was only due to the appearance of Marth and Roy in Super Smash Bros. Melee way back in 2001 that the series eventually made the leap, and it wasn't until Fire Emblem Awakening's release in 2013 that the franchise proved popular enough to ensure its continued life in the Western market. Unfortunately, as popular as the series is now, especially with the success of Fire Emblem Heroes on mobile, I, like I'm sure many besides the very dedicated fans, have always been extremely unfamiliar with the entire breadth of its releases, and in a way, most of what stopped me from getting into it was being unsure about how to go about jumping into such a long-standing series. Maybe some gamers can happily jump into the newest releases and have a blast, but that's something that I simply cannot do. Personally, I find the best way to experience a series as storied as this one is the same way that one would experience a long book or movie series. You start at the beginning. This video serves to announce a new Fire Emblem series retrospective that I'm going to be running on my channel. I will be jumping into the Fire Emblem games one after another, and reviewing each one before moving on to the next release. With this series of videos, I will be attempting to accomplish a number of goals, with the most prominent one being to fully inform Western audiences about every single game in the franchise, especially the ones which never saw release in English. I will be covering the stories, gameplay developments, and giving an overall assessment of each game, starting as someone who has never really played any of the current installments. Sometimes the beginnings of long series don't always show that franchise's best light. In the case of Fire Emblem, I imagine that some of the older games stayed buried, even after some very complete fan translations, due to the unwillingness of modern gamers to adjust to its more unpadded systems. Still, I remain committed to my approach, and I hope that my adventure in the videos that come out of this long project will prove interesting or valuable to some. These reviews will no doubt be extremely time-intensive on my part. For each game that isn't a remake, I will be playing them at least twice. My first time privately, as I fumble with and figure out each individual game's quirks and systems, and a second publicly, which I will be recording and releasing over on my gameplay channel, Shane Brain Plays. The link to that channel is in the description, where I have already completed some of the earlier games and set up playlists for the curious. So, now that the groundwork is laid, it's time to begin this journey. Please come back tomorrow as I tackle the very first game in the series, Fire Emblem Dark Dragon and the Sword of Light for the original Famicom. See you then, everybody. Thanks for watching.